Hello and welcome to our 6th episode of Luhya 101 with Nakimo. And together let's uncover the beauty that is in the Luhya language and culture. I'm so happy with the progress so far. Thank you so much to those who have already subscribed to our channel. I do not take your support for granted. And those who are new here, please feel at home and remember to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so that you do not have to miss any episode. Also remember to like our videos and share with your friends. Also, in case you missed any previous episode, kindly click the link in the description below and watch it. My name is Nakimo and I'm your teacher and host. Today's episode is on the cultural aspects. We are going to be discussing the culture of the Luhya people of Kenya. The Luhya culture is rich in customs and traditions, and it is important to learn about them to be able to appreciate the diversity and the beauty of the Kenyan culture. By the end of this episode, you will have a better understanding of the Luhya people, their customs, and their traditions. Let's start by having an overview of the Luhya people, their customs and traditions. In the very first episode of this series, I did an overview of the Luhya people and their culture. In case you missed that, kindly click the link in the description below and watch it. However, it is important to note that the Luhya is the second largest ethnic group in Kenya, with an estimated population of about 6.8 million people, and these people settled in the western part of Kenya. The specific counties include Kakamega, Busia, Bungoma, Vihiga, Trans Nzoia, and we also have them in parts of Uasin Gishu and Nandi. So click the link and watch the first episode of this series for more. To continue, it's important to note that the Luhya people have a rich cultural heritage, which is evident in their customs and traditions. These customs and traditions play a significant role in their daily lives, and also they provide a sense of identity and belonging. For instance, the food is not just a means of sustenance, but also a way of expressing hospitality and cultural identity. The clothing, on the other hand, is used to represent cultural heritage. It's used to represent cultural heritage and identity, while traditions are such as circumcision and marriage ceremonies are important rites of passage that mark significant stages of life. Therefore, it is essential to understand the customs and traditions of the Luhya people to be able to appreciate their culture fully. Let us discuss the food in the Luhya culture. Food is an essential aspect of the Luhya people because other than sustaining them, it is also very important in expressing hospitality and cultural identity. Sharing food is a sign of goodwill and friendship, and it is an important part of the Luhya social life. There are several popular Luhya dishes, and I'll share some of them with you so that you can understand the various popular dishes in the Luhya culture. The very first one is ugali, which is called obusuma in the Luhya language, and this is a staple food in Kenya, and it is made out of maize, millet or sorghum flour. It is often served with a variety of stews, such as chicken, which is very popular, beef or fish, or some vegetables. Another example of a meal, food that is made in the Luhya culture is omurere. Omurere is a green vegetable that is somewhat slimy when cooked. It is normally prepared using an alkaline solution, which is made from ash, and this ash is found when when dried banana peels, dried the remains of the beans after they have been harvested and dried, and also dried maize cob, they are burnt, and the ash from those remains is usually mixed with water to make an alkaline solution, popularly known as omunyu omushereha in the Luhya language, and this is used to make various dishes in Luhya. I'll be sharing some of those, and this omrere is one of them. So using that alkaline solution, this omrere is made. It's usually slimy, and then it's also served as a side dish with ugali. Another example is risebebe. Risebebe is or riso is pumpkin leaves, and they're also cooked with omunyu omshereha and served as a side dish with ugali. Later on in my videos, I'll be sharing with you practical example of how to prepare some of these Luhya dishes. So now I'll just go through them so that you get to know some of them. We have emiro. Emiro is also a green vegetable that is also cooked with munyo omshereha, and sometimes you can mix them with some of these vegetables. You can mix them with each other depending on your preferences. So you can mix with maybe rihubi, you can mix with omrere, you can mix depending on your preference, and they're also served with as a side dish with ugali. Another example is rihubi. Rihubi are cowpeas leaves, and they are cooked with omunyo omshereha again and served with ugali. We have risutsa or isutsa. These are also green vegetables. These are boiled and cooked preferences depending on how you want it. You can boil it and make it made with onions, with nyanyas, depending on how you want it. And then they're also served with ugali. We also have risaka or tsisaka. They're also green vegetables that are boiled, mixed with other vegetables like isutsa or any other, or you can cook it just the way it is and also serve it with ugali. We have obwova, which is also mushroom. These are also cooked depending on your own preference. Again, I'll show how these are cooked. They can be cooked when they are just fresh from the farm, or you can dry them to be able to preserve. You can dry and keep them for a while and boil them and stew them to make a very nice stew. I'll show you how that is made. So obwova is also very common among the Luhyas. We have the matoke or amaremwa. This is made from green bananas, and which is steamed and mashed, and is also often served with meat or other stews. We have omuranda. Omuranda is a lump of dried meat. Omuranda is usually dried and stored for a very long time. Actually, I remember my grandmother used to have omuranda at any particular time of the year. It could be stored even in January and you eat it in December. And it's normally also made with the omunyo omhereha, at least to soften it, and it can be cooked the entire day. You can cook it from morning and eat it for supper. I'll show you how to make the omuranda. So that is also very popular among the Luhya people. We have very many other examples, but I chose to share these particular ones with you. It's also important to note that when you come to Luhya functions, including weddings, funerals, you'll not and many other functions, you'll not miss to get these dishes. We move on to clothing in the Luhya culture, and clothing is an important aspect of the Luhya culture, as it represents their cultural heritage and identity. The Luhya people have a variety of traditional clothing that is worn during important ceremonies and events. An example is the traditional Luhya clothing is the bukusu dress, which is a long and colorful dress that is worn by the bukusu, and which is a subtribe of the Luhya. You'll also learn that from the first episode. I was able to discuss the various subtypes of the Luhya. So the dress is a combination of brightly colored fabrics, and it features some beadwork and embroidery. The dress is usually worn with a headscarf and some sandals. Another example is the shirati, which is a colorful skirt worn by the Luhya women during traditional ceremonies. It is made from brightly colored fabrics and features patterns and some beadwork that is worn by the women. Along the way, as we were traveling and moving from one place to another, all the way from Congo and even settling here, there was a lot of intermarriages and just meeting other people, and some of these cultural clothings may have been lost along the way. So just to curb that, there are modern adaptations of the Luhya clothing, and this include incorporating traditional patterns and designs into modern clothing. For instance, some designers have created dresses and shirts with Luhya-inspired patterns and beadwork. This is a way to celebrate and honor the Luhya culture, while also making it more accessible to people who may want to be familiar with the traditional Luhya clothing. In conclusion, clothing is an important aspect of the Luhya culture and traditional clothing, such as the bukusu dress and the shirati, which we have discussed. These were worn during important ceremonies and events. Modern adaptations of the Luhya clothing have also made it possible for people to celebrate and honor the Luhya culture through fashion. Finally, let's briefly discuss the traditions in the Luhya culture. Traditions are an important part of the Luhya culture as they help to preserve the customs and practices that have been passed down through generations. They also serve as a way of reinforcing the cultural identity of the Luhya people. Circumcision is one of the most important traditions in the Luhya culture. This is a rite of passage for young boys, and it marks their transition from childhood to adulthood. The circumcision ceremony is a significant event and is attended by family and members of the community. The boys are usually taken to a special location where the circumcision is performed, which is usually performed by traditional circumciser. After the ceremony, the boys are expected to observe a period of seclusion and undergo a period of initiation, where they learn about their roles and responsibilities as men. Later on, again, we'll go into the practical aspect of this, and I'll be able to show you what happens on the ground during this circumcision ceremony. Another important tradition is the marriage ceremonies, which is also important in the Luhya culture. Marriage is seen as a union between two families and is celebrated with a great pomp and ceremony. The bride and the groom exchange gifts, and the dowry is normally paid to the bride's family. The ceremony is presided over by an elder or a spiritual leader, and it is usually attended by family members, friends, and the community at large. Again, we'll be able to share some of these things in practical. I'll be able to show you what really happens on the ground in the traditional Luhya marriage ceremonies. Another example is the funeral ceremonies, which is also an important tradition in the Luhya culture. They are seen to be a way of honoring the dead and providing closure for the bereaved. Okay, the funeral ceremony is usually attended by family members, friends, and the community at large, and it involves traditional rituals such as washing of the body, laying of the body in state, and also the performance of traditional songs and dances. Again, we'll go to the ground and show you what happens in these funeral ceremonies. In conclusion, traditions are important aspects of the Luhya culture, and they serve as a way of preserving and celebrating the customs and practices that have been passed down through generations. Circumcision, marriage, funeral ceremonies are just examples that I've been able to share with you. There are others that we will continue to be sharing practically as we continue in this channel. So keep it here. There's a lot of good things coming onto you and entertaining at the same time. It is important to be able to learn about these Luhya cultures, as they play an important role in reinforcing the cultural identity of the Luhya people. In this episode, we have explored some of the key cultural aspects of the Luhya people in Kenya, and we have discussed the significance of food, clothing, and traditions in the Luhya culture. I hope this episode has provided you with a deeper understanding and appreciation of the rich cultural heritage of the Luhya people. Let's share more of what you know about the Luhya culture in the comment section. In case you have other examples and your experiences and knowledge on the Luhya culture, let's share in the comment section. And also remember to subscribe to our channel, share with your friends, like our videos, and let's grow together. My name is Nakimo, and I'm your teacher and host. See you in the next episode. Thank you.